I walked onto my own property and found a demolition crew tearing my mansion apart. Walls caving in, diesel fumes thick in the air, and the HOA president standing there smiling, clipboard in hand like she owned the place. My 100-year-old oak staircase lay in splinters across the lawn. She told me I'd abandoned it. Would you have called the cops? Or done what I did? Let me take you back. Every fight has a reason worth fighting for. 6 months earlier, I'd bought this wreck for $127,000 at auction. Thornhill Manor, a 1920s lakefront dream in upstate New York. 6 bedrooms, 2 acres, and a stretch of private water that caught the sunrise like glass. My name's Mark Jensen. 20 years in the Navy Seabees, built bridges, barracks, and airstrips in places most maps forget. When I retired after a training accident left me with shrapnel in my leg, I figured rebuilding a house would be easy compared to rebuilding myself. But Thornhill wasn't just any house. It was the kind my grandmother used to whisper about. She cleaned other people's lake homes her whole life, then came home to a rented apartment and taped pictures of dream houses inside her closet door. "One day, baby," she used to say, "we'll have a place like that." She never did. So I decided I would. When I first walked inside Thornhill, it smelled like wet plaster and something dead. The floors were warped, glass everywhere. Raccoons had taken over the attic. But sunlight broke through the cracks like it wanted the place to live again. I ran my hand over the carved oak banister and felt her there. "One day, baby." "Yeah, Grandma, this is it." I had it all mapped out. Foundation first, then roof, then electrical. 18 months to full restoration, until a white luxury SUV pulled up my drive. Out stepped Diane Caldwell, the self-appointed president of Lakeview Estates HOA. Pastel cardigan, clipboard like a weapon. "Mr. Jensen," she said, "your property violates 17 codes and 4 covenants." "Ma'am?" I said. "I'm not in an HOA." "Oh, sweetheart," she smiled. "The map was amended in 2003. You're in it whether you knew or not." She turned and walked away, heels clicking like a gavel. That's when the storm started. I filed all the proper plans, 40 pages of them, rejected in 72 hours. Not in keeping with neighborhood character. I appealed. 10 minutes into the hearing, Diane mispronounced my name 3 times. Her sidekick, a retired dentist, leaned in. "You sure you can handle a project this big? With your situation?" He nodded toward my leg brace. I kept my voice calm. "I'll resubmit," they smirked. That's when I knew. It wasn't about codes. She wanted me gone. 2 weeks later, a county inspector appeared. "Work stop order," he said. Claimed my survey was off by 18 inches. The same survey a licensed firm had certified. The error had been flagged by the Permit Review Board, the one Diane vice-chaired. Coincidence? Sure, within a month my crew quit. Couldn't afford to sit idle. I didn't blame them. That night I sat on the grand staircase, the only solid thing left, listening to the lake slap against the dock. It used to sound peaceful. Now it mocked me. My daughter texted, "You okay, Dad?" "Yeah," I lied. But then I felt that oak rail under my palm, smooth and cold, and thought of Grandma Estelle whispering, "One day, baby." No, I wasn't done. I spent 3 nights buried in county archives. Dust, microfilm, coffee that tasted like asphalt. Then I found it. A 2003 amendment that supposedly tied my property into the HOA. But it had never been ratified by the county. Just the town council and the signatures. All belonged to Diane and her inner circle. Neighbors whose property values had jumped 30% right after. That wasn't a coincidence. That was manipulation. I scanned every page, drafted a 6-page report, and sent it to the town council, the local paper, and the state attorney's hotline. Subject line: potential HOA misconduct, Thornhill Manor. I may not be a lawyer, but Fury and Google make a powerful team. By Thursday, an emergency session was called. Diane rang me that afternoon. Suddenly, Diane, not Mrs. Caldwell. "Mark, let's have coffee. Work this out, neighbor to neighbor." "I'll take my coffee at the next council meeting," I said. Click. Silence. Then, "You're making a mistake." "Probably not my first," I told her, "and definitely not my last." That night, I installed 4 cameras. If she wanted war, I'd have the footage. 2 weeks later, I walked into the community center for the HOA meeting. Every chair had a glossy flyer on it. Safety concerns at Thornhill Manor. Photos of my house. False claims. Polluted water. Unlicensed work. Fire hazards. All lies. But it looked official. I didn't yell. I waited. Let her dig her hole deeper. When it was my turn, I plugged my phone into the projector. Before you vote, I said, you should see this. Image 1, my security footage. Her friend, the dentist, dumping beer cans on my lawn. License plate clear as day. Image 2, lab results. My shoreline, clean. Hers, polluted. Image 3, a lawyer's note explaining that her proposed emergency bylaw was illegal to apply retroactively. Then I looked straight at her. I don't know if you're trying to steal my home or just can't stand someone like me owning it. But I'm not going anywhere. The room froze. Then slow clapping started from the local paper's reporter. A few others joined. Diane's face went crimson. She grabbed her folder and walked out. Meeting adjourned. Next morning, a dead raccoon on my porch. I stared at it, sipped my coffee and thought, that's your move? Called animal control, added another camera. Then came the inspectors, 1 per day. Monday, overgrown vegetation. They were wildflowers, state-certified habitat. Tuesday, open foundation. It was a vent. Wednesday, unsecured chemicals, locked metal cabinet, OSHA certified, 3 tickets, $15,000 in potential fines, enough to bankrupt the project. That night in my camper, cold seeping in, I nearly quit. Then my phone rang. It was Lyle, my old contractor. Mark, I heard what she's doing. I can't work full-time, but weekends are yours. Free labor. My kids need to see that standing up matters. 10 minutes later, another call. Elena, my neighbor. I saw who dumped that raccoon. I'll sign a statement if you need it. Then Beth, the reporter. I've been digging. Your HOA presidents had 3 prior disputes, all settled quietly. I can't print details yet, but there's a pattern. And just like that, I wasn't alone anymore. Week 11, Diane filed a lien against my property, claiming I owed back HOA dues. Dues for an HOA I never legally joined. The bank froze my loan. That was her kill shot. I called my lawyer friend Rick. He sighed. Filing a knowingly false lien? That's not just civil, it's potentially criminal. Triple damages if proven. I hung up and stared at Thornhill through the camper window. Tarps flapping in the cold wind. For a second, it looked like a wounded thing trying to breathe. Then I smiled. She'd overplayed her hand. The fight wasn't over. It was just getting good. You never really own land. You earn it day by day, with grit and persistence. People like Diane think they can bully folks into silence. But silence is where rot grows. I fought back because this house wasn't just mine. It was my grandmother's dream, my daughter's future, and proof that sometimes standing your ground means building it yourself. So yeah, if you ever find someone tearing down your life while smiling behind a clipboard, make sure your cameras are rolling. Because truth, like a hammer, hits hardest when it's caught on tape.